Hello YouTube and welcome to another opinion piece. Once in a while I'd just like to I'm gonna close this one. There's too much sunlight it seems on the camera. Blue circle curtains, always fun. But as you know, last week it was the big battle and I've got some feelings about it, some ramblings, some conclusions. And while I am painting my last figures for Civil War, for the next big battle, which will be next week, 85 regiments of about 20 figures, all painted on the table. I'm saying this for a special reason because I'm coming back on that later in this video. Well, I have some gripes, feelings. I can't call it rants, it's just like random thoughts processing in my old cheese for brain. And which is also the reason why I actually didn't went to the club yesterday, because I didn't want to go in aftermath discussions or such. Well, it's not like I would shut up or anything, but you know, give it some time, let it all cool. Now this makes it sound like it was a terrible day. It's not, it was great fun. But I already did 2 mega battles this year. I participated in the Monongola American War of Independence, no sorry, French-Indian War battle, in which I had the rear guard, which meant that until 3 o'clock in the afternoon I had like nothing to do except, well, queue up to pass a bridge, where the whole British force had to queue to pass by. And I didn't lose one shot in the battle, and by the time of the final turn I finally got in range of something, but there was no shooting phase anymore. Hip hooray, that wasn't too exciting. Now last week at the 40k battle, it was a bit in the other way around. I had the Supreme Commander Lucius. I really hate the character, both in his storyline book as a figure to play for, but he is the chosen one of Slaanesh. Slaanesh was pretty high when he picked that one as his Supreme Champion, not guys like Eidolon or something. But heck, Lucius the Eternal. And I was anchored on our farmost flank in order to, well, they basically had to clear like 10 plays before they could get to our Supreme Commander. He was worth extra victory points, so he needed to be kept secure, which I duly did. I only lost 2 deep striking units who were there to distract an Imperial Guard player on the other side of the table. That was everything I lost in the battle, a few loose figures left or right. Well, my direct opponent had a Space Wolves army, which I annihilated by the end of turn 4, down to the final puppy. So, but it also meant that after that, I was standing there and I could provide some fire support to my next door neighbor, to say it like that, which happened to be Nemesis. Yeah. We're like a tag team. This dead guard was under pressure by 2 Imperial Guard units, so together we decimated one army to the half, and had it took on one more turn we might have won it. On that flank, the battle for our side, because their armies were now starting to get depleted while ours get a serious swing in the first turns. But it was not to be, there wasn't a 6th turn, time constraints made it in that there wasn't the roll, and even if it was a roll, it was a 50-50 chance, so no 5th turn to play. So okay, we lost 109 against 122. So call it a draw, call it a win, call it a loss, whatever side you're on. For me that was a loss to chaos. If you won by 1 point it would have been a win. Now it was a loss. Nothing to do about that, but it was great fun. There's going to be another big battle next year. And initially I was like, I'm not participating anymore, due to well, some behavior of a guy at the table somewhere, which didn't sit well with a lot of people, or the fact that, which is my pet peeve a bit, a couple of armies weren't painted at all, or only half or something. I know it's all about fun, it's all about the gaming part, but I am of the mindset, and that's always a hard one in this case, that if you do something that big, everything has to be painted, because it's something as a club you can go to the outside world, say, hey, look what we're doing, and then it goes be, but the armies aren't painted. And some comments on the internet can be pretty anal about that one. So the hard part in the 40k battle about that is that on the one hand it's one of my best buddies who organized it, so as a friend I don't care, but on the other hand as a board member of the Tin Soldiers of Antwerp I also have to think of the public relations and everything of the club, and so yeah, it's a discussion I just don't want to have with him on a real hard level. I can say something about it, but I don't want to drive against his card, so well, it's a bit of a hardliner. I'll see how I'll tackle it. But next year I'm joining in again. And if there's one thing this huge battle has learned me is, even though I'm niggling with the tower a bit and everything, and I had some ideas about other armies which I might or might not start, bottom line is I love my Slaanesh. Nothing to do about it. I love the side of the pink. Yeah, the table. I don't know if you know the old TSS tiles, they were 24x24 and the table was 30 tiles long, so you can imagine the length of the table. If not, go to my blog, it's on last weekend's post, 40k 60,000 points battle, something was the title, so you could see pictures there. You can still see pictures there because, well, it's staying on the blog of course. Oh, well, you know what, I'll link it downstairs, direct link to the battle. And if you stood at the most far side of the table, furthest away from me, being like, well, really meters away from me, and you looked at eye level across the whole table, you still saw that flashy pink blob was at the total opposite end of the table. So it has a certain attraction factor, painting your armies in a bright pink and purples, and I kind of like that though. It gives a funny effect. So yeah, that means I'm going to keep on painting and buying chaos stuff and Emperor's Children. The tower will get painted of course and everything, but I'm not going to be like a madman and try to paint 3,000 or 4,000 points for the battle next year. No, I'll just be joining in once again with my Emperor's Children. It's an army. When I started playing 40k, originally I started with Dark Angels, but I never really played them that much. So when 3rd edition came out, and it was no, 4th edition, the first one with a mentioning of the original legions and their color schemes. It was a White Dwarf series back then, where they always focused on one particular Chaos Legion and their pre-heresy color schemes and their post-heresy color schemes and everything. I immediately fell in love with the purple and the pink. Well, mostly with the pre-heresy dark purple with golden details, but hey, the pink is fun to paint as well. So it's also why I mix and match my forces. But that means I'm going to totally refocus for 40k on my Emperor's Children. I am currently repainting some tryout models for other legions, Warbeards, Alpha Legion. Going to repaint them pink. I'm doing the same with my Future War Commander. Everything pink. So that my big glass cabinet, which you can see back there. Top 2 shells are anime figures, but everything under that is my Emperor's Children Legion. 40k wise, their demon allies, their heretic part that I'm building, but also the 6mm. Everything's gonna be pink and purple, just because, well, focus. And there are plans to do a 5 or 6 or player battle soon, with the hardcore troop of the club. Going to be, we're still thinking, so this is probably for some the first thing they hear about it, but it's first a little brain fart. Might be around 6,000-7,000 points a player. We start playing on a Friday night. We will continue on the Saturday when it's a club opening day, and we're aiming to have the simple rule of if it ain't painted, it ain't on the table. So painted base, you know, the whole drill. Kind of like that, not those massive 20-30 player events. That's not organizable for something like that. So in that case I understand. There are people who just don't have those big collections, or not even those big collections, let alone painted. So I understand my buddy completely on that part. So I don't mind this just because there's a little sand in between, and otherwise I'll varnish it and I'll have the bases. But so I understand my buddy completely on that level. You have to give everyone the chance to participate in when you do such big events. But this one will be perhaps half the size in points, definitely a quarter in the size in players, and we'll just gonna duke it out, bring along some big models. I'm not saying Titans, but I am saying Knights and everything, so that's one idea that's currently going around. And another idea that is going to happen soon, I'll just at the next board meeting I have to go looking for a date. There is going to be a big 6mm science fiction battle. Nothing too fast, we're probably going to be 4 or 5 players, and with the rule again, if it's not painted it's not on the table, but we're not going to use pointless or something. It's going to be played with Future War Commander. Just bring everything you have, and we'll see how we work it out for sites and scenarios and everything the evening before the game itself. So again, there will be a huge Pink Legion, which is also a little shout out if you do happen to have about 3 or 4 epic Razorbacks and 2 or 3 epic Predators for sale and 1 Thunderhawk somewhere in your BizBox that you don't like. Send me a message. I need I don't find them anywhere at a reasonable price, so same with the Vindicator or 2. It's just missing units for my epic Marine Corps. So, well, that was a small intermezzo. But yeah, that's the problem I had so far with mega battles. Half day longs of inactivity. So next year I am going to ask for a place right in the middle of the battle line. I'm not taking any corners and securing flanks anymore for the team. I did that last year with the Age of Sigmar. I've took it with rear guard for the French Indian War. I now did for the Mega 40k War battle, so stuff, whatever you want to call it. So next year I am going to be slapped down in the middle and shoot everywhere and charge everywhere and probably die everywhere, but that's something else. And well, basically do what Chaos does best. Cause some chaos. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Cheers!